Hi, I'm doing another video tonight. I wanted to do it on an article that I just came across today that was in the news. I've been wanting to talk about this for a while, but it's been something that I haven't had a chance to really sink my teeth into until this because it deals with my two favorite things. It deals with Amazon and it deals with Seattle because Amazon's headquartered in Seattle. Without further ado, I'm going to dig right in. First, I want to ask, what is facial recognition software? Why is it something that is a questionable thing to use? Facebook is already using facial recognition software. Facebook came out right after MySpace started going downhill. Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg, and I believe this with all my heart. I believe that Mark Zuckerberg created Facebook as a way to help law enforcement find people and to keep track of people without the public getting upset about it. Because let's face it, nobody wants to be put into a huge database where they can be checked up on. But if you do a huge database, but you make it fun and you make it seem like you're in charge of what you're doing, and you could opt out at any time, then you're not going to have a problem with it. On Facebook, have you ever noticed that when you upload a photograph, it puts a little square in front of the faces that are in the photograph, and it says, oh, tag your friends. And then you want to know why I should tag my friends. Well, because if you tag your friends, it'll be easier for you and your other friends to figure out who's in your photographs. Well, I thought about that, and is that really why the facial recognition software is on there? Or is it because when you upload a photograph with, like, say, 5 or 6 people on it, and you're recognizable because it's your page, your Facebook page, but everybody else is not, they want to know who's in that photo. But they want you to think that you're helping your family and your friends figure out who's in that photo with you. If you've got several friends, you want to give them a shout out and you want to say, these are my friends, and this is so-and-so, and that's so-and-so, and this is so-and-so, and that's so-and-so. And by doing that, I'm uploading a video here real quick. Just give me a second. Okay, there we go. Now, in order to do that, they've got to make you feel like it's something that is benefiting you without benefiting them. Because after all, it's your Facebook page, isn't it? Now, on to my main topic, and I'm plugging in my phone, so it may look kind of weird here, so just bear with me. Okay. There we go. Amazon shareholders will vote to ban facial recognition tech. Amazon's board opposes it and wants the government regulation instead. I got to look that up and see what regulation they want instead. Oh, Amazon shareholders will vote to ban the company's controversial Facebook. Amazon shareholders will vote to ban the company's controversial facial recognition tech next week in a Key symbolic process. Amazon set the vote date, May 22nd, after the U.S. Securities and Exchanges Commission rejected the company's request to have the motion squashed. A company of shareholders led by nonprofit Open Mic asked Amazon board to stop selling the deep learning tools until a third party can confirm it does not cause or contribute to actual or potential violations of human rights. Now, Facebook doesn't violate your rights because it gives you the option of being able to say who's this and who's that. But with Amazon, it wouldn't do that. On a technical basis, a vote to ban the technology might not mean much, as shareholders' resolutions aren't binding and are rarely approved. Yet, still, it would lend credence to claims by activist investors that the technology could endanger or violate privacy or civil rights and disproportionately impact people of color, immigrants, and activists. The American Civil Liberties Union, ACLU, tested Amazon's tech and found that it falsely matched 28 members of Congress to suspected criminals. Struggling particularly with people of color, Amazon argued that the tech wasn't being used in the right way, but that claim was undermined by a U.S. police department in Oregon that used it. Let's see here. Amazon argued that the tech wasn't being used in the right way, but that claim was undermined by a U.S. police department in Oregon that used it. Amazon. New technology should not be banned or condemned because of its potential misuse. And that's very true. Just because somebody's going to misuse something doesn't mean it needs to be banned. Well, that's a catch-22 there, because I think that bump stocks on guns is not a necessity. I don't think you need it. When the United States government put in the Second Amendment, I don't think that when it said the right to bear arms, I don't think it meant that you have the right to the accessories. And when it says right to bear arms, it doesn't say anything about right to bear ammunition as well. Arms and ammunition, that's not what it said. But anyway, it should not be condemned because of its misuse. Instead, there should be open, honest, and earnest dialogue among all parties involved to ensure that the technology is applied appropriately and is continuously enhanced. Okay, there should be open, honest, and earnest dialogue. We talk way too much. We dialogue about this. We dialogue about that. We have a discussion about this. And after a while, nothing ever gets done because people are always just talking about it. And talk is sometimes very, very cheap. Recognition uses deep learning AI to identify objects like faces and animals in videos and images. It could be used, for instance, to scan crowds of people to see if they are in criminal databases or watch lists. The ACLU and others are particularly concerned that governments could use the technology to illegally track activists and other participating in legitimate demonstrations and other activities. Just because, say, you're doing a demonstration and it's all legal, there's going to be some people that don't want you there. They're going to hate you for it. Amazon was recently questioned about the technology in Congress after attempting to sell it to law enforcement, immigration officials, and others that have asked for it. Amazon has said that the technology helps identify criminals and missing persons. And that's good if that's what it does. But that's not exactly all that it's capable of. and you give somebody an inch, and a lot of times they'll take a mile. Adding that it has not received any reports of misuse since it became available in 2017. Amazon and Microsoft have proposed that the technology be regulated by the government, not the companies themselves. It's critical that any legislation protects civil rights. It's critical that any legislation who protects civil rights while also allowing for continued, hold on, I gotta reread that. This doesn't sound like it was written correctly. It's critical that any legislation protects civil rights while also allowing for continued innovation and practical application of the technology. Oh, I understand now. It's critical that any legislation protect your civil rights. The legislation will protect your civil rights, but it also needs to allow the application of the technology to improve on itself and to be used for the right reasons. You can use it to help, and it should be used to help. Although it can be used for bad, it should have the potential to be used for good when all possible and extremely necessary. Amazon's board has recommended that shareholders vote against a ban, so a positive vote will certainly send a strong message. Okay. So basically what they're saying is that Amazon is not going to, they don't want it to be banned. They're not going to vote for a ban of it. What they want is for the United States government to step in, the FCC or whoever, to step in and regulate it. So at the appropriate time, it can be put to use. Now, if it's used properly, it's a good thing. But a lot of times things that are good things are not properly used and they're misused, and a lot of people suffer for it, like Nixon. Nixon tape recorded every single thing and every single person that came into his office, the Oval Office. He audio taped everyone. Elvis came to visit him, and Elvis wanted to get a badge that said he was a narcotics officer. They didn't want to give it to him. So he got a special session with Kennedy. Elvis came in, and the 45 minutes that Elvis and Nixon talked, Nixon turned off the audio tapes. He didn't audio tape the conversation. Nobody knows exactly what happened. But it's rumored that Nixon got Nixon got Elvis Presley to become a narcotics officer to crack down on drugs in the cities that he would tour in. That's just speculation on that, on a lot of people's part. But that in itself goes to show you that good ideas can be used for wrong and bad things. Facebook has been doing facial recognition software on your photos for as long as I can remember. Every time they say, click on this to tag your friends, I say, screw you, I'm not interested. This is not Germany. This is America. We have rights and we have freedom here. Anyway, that's just a quick little video I wanted to do because it is a brand new thing that came up, and I thought it would be something that would be worth talking about. Anyway, this is another video by All Things Considered. because I consider all things. Have a good night, Seattle, and all points beyond.